Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we are here taking a look at the V-pop mission from Street Woman Fighter Vietnam. This is the finale. I'm excited for this. And so what I did is for each track that each crew got, I pulled up an original, either a music video visual, or I know with SOFIRE, the actual dance that they got viral off of, or members affiliated, just so I can better understand kind of the scope of what we're operating from with these V-pop tracks, so I can be a better steward of my analysis whenever we take an official watch of the actual crews from the choreographic front. I'm excited for this. Let's go ahead and get started.
Burn all the way. So
To Te Ti by Rin Evans. Cute. Very quirky. Yeah. Ah! Nice. The backpack gimmick is really fun. Cute. Yes, you better punch it. Let's go. Cute. Yeah. Oh my gosh, a vibe. Yeah. That was really cute. And I like the blurred, it's a Kangol hat, if you were curious, a little kangaroo, if you ever wanted that actual hat. Adorable. Okay. This is just somebody did a little compilation of last Fire's choreo to the track. There is not a music video, or that's what we would be watching, but we're just gonna enjoy it, I guess, for it is. So this is any kind of movement quality that we got here. Cute. This is cute. So they ended up using actual trumpets. It's the trot for me. The trot is adorable. The marches, man. Yeah. So they chose to do a sturdy instead, which is complimentary. Really well done, honestly. I understand why everyone wanted SOFIRE to do this one. This is adorable. Yes! Party, party with the Santa! Is that an NCT light stick? Yeah. I love it. It's exhausting, but so fun. This is incredible. I love it. Like there's so much beauty in the art of making something so gimmicky and such a vibe that it makes you want to dance and enjoy and appreciate it, to be like, where are we going with this? Do you know what I mean? They did a fantastic job. They really did. And I'm going to be very honest with you too. Yes, I'm going to have preferences when it comes to this V-pop mission, as well as with the Ice. But my role today is mostly going to be more along the lines of, let's celebrate the growth of SOFIRE. From the very first time we saw them with K-pop mission to here, way cleaner, more cohesive. Everyone's on the same page. They all look like they genuinely enjoy what they're doing. Why am I going to critique that? That's awesome. Right here, from the jump, they come on. They're explorers. They're giving Dora the Explorer, but I don't know, it's like Boy Scouts. It's a vibe. I love it. They're like, oh, hi there. So this little pulse right here on the tail end. So they're matching the overall posture, but I don't think they're 100% replicating the whole thing. Maybe this beginning, possibly, but we gotta look here. So like, not really though, right? They're hitting the pulse of it, which honestly I'm very impressed at the fact that for something as viral as this, they didn't overly replicate it, because that's such a risk where you want to be inspired. People want to see the original to a certain degree, but then also people could also come along the lines of, oh, you're just being lazy because you're not innovating it. Like, I understand the risk, checks and balances of it. I like the fact that we're matching the same parts in the music, but we're approaching it in a different way. I love that, oh, hi there, hello, and the natural feature because she kept her arm straight, everybody else bent it. That's nice. She takes her arm over to the other side. They bring it up, bring it down. Nice. It's catering to that bass, that boom, boom, that pulse very well. The marches are cute. Heel toe, looking away from the backpack or wherever their hands are, really nice. Basically ignoring her. She's wagging her finger. They're like, okay, sure. And then they run. It's just a nice, fun, clean transition to get them reset where they need to be with the arms swing down. And they said, oh, hi there. Good to meet you. I love the handshake there. And we present the interlocking is fun. They present really nice, simple ripple with a step out. Great commitment. And then they double time it. So they go 1, 2 on the pulse. And then they go bleed it over to our captain. And they present the hand up. They're like, oh, hi. They take the backpack. They go hit it. And then they go down and up. They have their arms right there on the back. And I let the switch up here where we have half of our dancers with their arms grabbing to show that, hey, I do recognize you're touching me. And then those that are actually grabbing. I love the commitment. We're not hovering. We're actually grabbing. It's fun. It's a vibe. And then from there, we make it as a fun little partner moment. It's childlike. And that's exactly what they're putting off in there. Costuming, the LEDs really help with it. The kind of track it does give that kind of quirky, pulsy vibe that I can see a very childlike wonder about. So I really like that we dived into that here. And then they go back in and out, and then out. So it goes da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, and then we take our arms out, and then we go down, low, high. Super fun. I'm glad that the audience is vibing with it. I just love that. Instead of the audience just being, they're living in it. We're here for it. And then they take the backpacks off. They throw them over to the side. Really well done, because they are technically looking where the backpack's being thrown, not where they're throwing it. So the fact that they're able to grab it, really nice. These are always risky things to do in a one take. ever, because when you're throwing it, if you sling it over to the side, you're done, or if you didn't catch it, it's off. So they do pretty good on the grabs. They don't make it look too it's not too distracting when you do have subtle issues. I think one of them, she didn't get it all the way to the back as fast as everybody else, but once again, it's so subtle, not a huge thing. I like from there, they have it all where it needs to be. They turn it into a crossbody, which is really fun. And then they go hop, 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 get ready. And then we're using our backpack as the guitar. It's so fun. Ba, da, da, da. And then the opposing just in the mirror, but also the levels are also really nice. We have so much close-up shots that normally, I prefer the fixed cam where we just get to see it like an audience member, but I'm okay with this. We're here to celebrate and appreciate. Love it. Bring it down. Sling it around their back, but notice with one of them, she didn't quite get there. It doesn't matter. We have the transition. And then they end up sturdying instead, and they actually elevate the choreo and make it a little bit more syncopated with the upper body. And it's like, boo, haha, you know, very playful, sturdy, dee, and then they sturdy to the other side, and they pulse with the opposing arm, which makes it really fun. And then I like the chicken wing drop. It's cute. And then we have the opposing levels once again, so we have a lot of that choice. Yes, we have a lot of repeated choices, whether it's the unison transitions and how we're going about them. We're not really adjusting posture or diving into other textures. We're really diving into the type of track. For me, I don't care. Honestly, I think this is great. Matches the track well. It looks like they're having a great time. At the end of the day, it's a celebration of art, of dance, in the Vietnamese culture of street dance. I'm here for it. We love it. You know, for me, I mean, well, whenever I watch the episode, I'll probably like state who I think would probably win. You know, I have my theories, but I mean, when it comes to just choreo, it's a clean performance. They should be very proud of this. And the fact that we went from K-pop challenge to this, it's really, really nice. And I'm excited for Ice Ice just to see the contrast. It'd be really cool. The hop with the crisscross is really nice. They turn out of it and they go swing, and this just feels like a freaking workout. And then we bring it up in a little, not really a pony, but we swing it up, and then look at the angle though. For the most part, I mean, some of them are a little bit off here, but we got at least that elbow in line together, which is really fun. They go out in. It feels like an aerobic exercise. It just makes you want to do this, which is exactly what the track feels like to you as well, which is really nice. It goes in, out, in, which is also nice. Love that they didn't cover up the congos here because you couldn't really, because they're so freaking full and there's so much going on. I like how we press it. Did feel like we were doing a little pas de bourrée, wasn't it? Oop, hold on. 1, 2. So it goes hit, we drop, bring it up, and then we rotate through. And this right here, I've seen that on TikTok all the time. I love that they integrated that here. And then on the tone with the swing of the arms, and they bring it in, dee. And then we have 3 of them go high and mid, and then half of them go low to mid, and then they all join in unison there, and they accent with the leg. Then they go tap, tap, tap to rotate it around. I like the hand pressing up. And then from there, we're grabbing the backpacks, making it super fast. And then we do a dee, and we have this little moment where we have the overarching backpacks and they bring it through, and then they do it. And so they end up doing it about 3 times, and I like that 1, 2, 3, and then we had it on a third one. 2 of them go in to reset it, which was really cool. And they come up, so cute. And she goes, going forward, what? Great personality, bringing it over, like a little pas de bourrée. And then they say, reporting for duty. Very much that way. I like how they're looking over to the inside. I like how we're doing a little backslide. It is really not technically correct at all, but we get the gist of it because we're hitting and we're pointing. It's such a gimmick. We're here for it. And I like how they all dive or just kind of sink it. Yeah, they all do a little snake with the connection, which is nice. Ties into the partnering that we saw earlier, so I like that fingerprint. And then we do a little slide, and I like that little sweep renajam. And then I love this little back attitude situation. It's fun. Maybe like a penché attitude vibe, and I love the binoculars. Then here's they got a trumpet. Now that, to me, I would be like, that's fire. Ha! It's so fire, because they end up doing that with the original fun viral choreo. And I like this interlocking once again. And they're all doing it again. Yep. Love little resting there, because it's nice and dainty here. So I like the rest of the head, the turn, and we're marching. And good transition. She said, let's go. Time to party. Dun dun. So I like we do bring it in out, syncopate it on the bass. Ta-ta. She has her moment. Look at me. Then she goes down. Look at my baby. Freeze. They said, huzzah. Then bring it up. And then we're sturdying. It's cool. Go low, high, and low. low to high, and then we pony to a new spot. The throw, I love the wave is nice. They go in, up, and then our next group goes to create a basic window formation. This is so cute. 1, 2, it definitely gives like a, I don't know, it's just a, it reminds me of other cases where you see people just like, pa, pa, pa. It's just fun, and it makes you want to do it, and it makes you be like, yeah, go, go, go. So seeing that there, and I love this part. Could that be tie into another viral moment? Possibly. I love that though, rotating it in and up. I love the vibes they're giving on this. Hit and then swing it down, up. It's nice, and it's clean too, and it makes it work very well, and the people are going wild on it. The shampoo around, so it's syncopated in the upper body, but they're keeping the pulse in the lower body. Very nice, subtle polyrhythm, but really nice to see. Bring it down, and I love that rotation right there with the wrist. And then we go a little tap, 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 bringing that arm up. Come on now. And then we hit boom, boom with the hip. And then we present, we go down, hit, syncopated with the trot. And then it kind of looks like we're undercutting something, a space underneath our legs. And then we take that leg, the second one, and we use it to pull around. Explosion with our first group, and then it turns into an add-on with our third. I mean, I love the fact they just took the trumpet and they said, yeet, they threw it to the back. And then they have a fun little finish. That was so enjoyable. This is what a finale is about for me. Yes, is this the most competitive routine? Not really, but it's really clean. It's fun. It's a gimmick, and it just ties so well to the humor that SOFIRE has brought. And I just think it's just really fun to enjoy. Next up, we got HANOIXGIRLS, Tok Teen, One Kong Tok Mai. Okay. We went Harley Quinn comic book version. Okay. Cool. Nice. Ooh, nice. Okay. That was fun. Oh. That's a cool gimmick. Nice. Wow, nice. Cool. Wow. Wow. I really like how they progressed that, for sure. If it was just going to stay kind of how it was, I mean, it's still, once again, finale, we celebrate the art. I really like where they took it. That was cool. Okay, here we go. Do we have? We do. Ahaha. Ooh. Bob is eating. Ha 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 ha. Huh. Wow. This is such a really cool music video. How they have it structured is cool. Oh. I'm sorry, we're not crying. Oh, is he like dead? No? Oh. Party! Oof, oof. Ooh, what else is going on in the story? Eating. Love it. Oh. Next target, Tolliver, and that's who's featured on the track. Cool. Oh, this is fun. Okay. Back to this. We're here for it. Once again, they're clean. I'm here for it. It is a bit on the simpler side compared to what I was expecting, but hey, there's beauty in that, just like there's beauty in how the simple setup for SOFIRE's worked very well for their concept. Here, they're going for Harley Quinn, Rebel, you're gonna come after me. I like the levels here, and they're kind of looking around. I love that. The LEDs are really dope for this. They said, come on now. I love the commitment there with the throw. She says, are you ready for the fun? And they walk. I like how they take their baseball bats, they bring it around, except for, and she takes it, she drops the dough. They hit, that kiss, kiss, kiss. I see the HANOIXGIRLS fingerprints on what we've seen throughout the season. We get to see here, which is kind of fun. They go bring it in. I like the little head nod, is fun. How she holds it, this little keyframe zoom in to me, I personally wish we didn't have it, but that's not up to them. That's just how the network decided to make these. Now she's sitting here holding it. They took the more everybody is the artist approach in comparison to just acting it out, which I think is just a preference thing. That's absolutely fine. The hold there is fine, but we did end up holding to make it a moment just to listen. When normally whenever you see like a dance competition, normally you use movement to justify lyrics more so than this absence of movement and just mouthing the words. But once again, it's a preference thing. I really liked what SOFIRE did. I don't mind what happened here, but I know it could, on the competitive side, it could affect the complexity of it. But once again, I don't really care about the scoring of this challenge or the next one as much, because I think at the end of the day, I want all of the groups that are in the finals to actually like their routines that they do and feel like they did their best. That to me is the victory, and all of it, we're here for it, you know? So they go, they lift her back up. I liked how they had it structured in the formation where you had your different levels and then you had the different baseball bats. It's really nice in how they have it in the transitions. Some of those baseball bats were a little bit off, but that's fine. Once again, I like the hit there, little bite. Okay, that's why. And we go down, I like the little head up. and they bring it over. I like this little knee slide and then having this, I think it's a cannon, yeah. And then right there, instead of doing like a full kip up, she like kips it up enough to where she does it on the head. That's cool. And then she has her moment. This is what I'm talking about. Like this would be like my preference. Instead of having absence of movement to just mouth words, you have other movement to environmentally cater to your feature moment. It's kind of my preference, but I really like how they structured it for themselves. It feels very coded with them. And then from here, they bring it over onto the shoulder stand. I like the abstract kind of individualized poses, but they're all complementary to each other. So then from here, we have everybody go bleed, 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 and then we're doing a no arm kip up. That is harder to do than people realize, and she also has a baseball bat, so it's a different logistic in play. And then she comes up. It wasn't quite like the cleanest, whatever, it's fine. And they go forward, forward, over, then we hold. We do a nice little kick with the baseball bat to also boot it, so we have different planes that are receiving that dynamic, which is cool, rotating around. I like the swing with the hinge. That was fun. Having a prop be this clean is impressive because this prop is an extension of you, and I would say in the beginning it was just subtle discrepancies, but here it's very well done. It's very well rehearsed. It was very visually pleasing, and I didn't feel worried that they were going to sling the baseball bat in the audience outside of just freaking brute force, you know, which is cool. They head nod. I like the little hitch kick or just the accented kick on that and the column there. And then a lean on there. That is a lot of trust in that bat because that one I don't think has a ton of traction, and you're wearing gloves. The lean there with the hinge is really cool. So that was cool. Then she swings it. Really nice. Then they go swing, swing, swing. Very gimmicky with the crossover of the legs. And then all of them also have this Harley Quinn, you know, jester-like headpiece, right? So that also can kind of act as a prop where the textile or how it operates in the space, depending on how much hair you have, that can influence its range, but can influence your cleanliness. And so far, it's doing pretty decent. When they're shaking it, it's being very clear. There's your cannon. The kick was nice and presenting with your 4 bats, and then she digs it, and then they all dig out of it, which was cool. Then they bring it up, they dip in, and then now you have 2 that are up, 3 that are down. I like the kick on that, so the legs are complementary. And then we take our bat, and then we all go down to unison. But you have my back row with their right, my front row with my left, so that's cool. Then they take it and they kick it, so now it's mirrored based on lines, and then it goes cry, cry, so you have the front and the back vantage point in the choreography with the switch up. And the crisscross is nice, and I like the sway on that. I like that it's not so isolated, but we actually have an upper body presence to it. Looks great. Then we bring it through. That's why, baby. Then she hits it, cry, cry, cry. That was dope. I love that. That's so cool. That was like, boom, like freaking butter. Yes. Yep, and the walkthrough, now we're in the column again. We did very recently see the column, so having it set up very quickly into this formation structure again is always a risk, but how they set it up was different already enough so it doesn't feel the same because you don't have the bats being utilized in the way that they were, and it's a different feature in front. You use a partner moment to help with the click there, or just with the throw, and then you have it bleed over. I love that little figure 8 that ended up being made. It was nice and symmetrical to a certain degree, as you could be, but it's fun. I like that bleed over is cool. I like that choice, boom, with the bleed, and then we bring it to represent up. Then we have this. Now, they did feel like she did kind of fall out of it, but how she handles it is honestly as much as you can handle it for a one take. You know what I mean? Just like with the backpack logistics, the fact is she was able to establish a level nonetheless, which still works. It's cool. Which actually made it look like it was intentional that way. Now, this is my one note that I personally, when it comes to, I'm heavy on musicality, and it's a huge priority for me as a choreographer and an artist. So the fact that it's very like a like that, and we just decided to go full-blown maniac there, it made more sense later on, but here it just felt very, very full for the subtlety of the conversational element of the laugh. But once again, that's just going to be a preference thing for me. It's not going to really determine anything. Like, if that's okay, it's fine. And I like the commitment to the performance. So they do a body roll with the accents with the hands up at the top, and it goes cry. And then, of course, it was really hard to see what they were doing there. But, oh, that cry. So I think we did a little scoop going on with the arm. And then we do a little overhead twirl wrist rotation on that too. And then go out in. Very syncopated, for sure. And it would cry. I like that choice. And I even like the detail of having the opposing colors in the gloves. I like the costuming for the challenge so far with both groups because it doesn't feel dinky. It feels committed to character, and I get what they're going for, but it still has a Hanoi flair to it, which is dope. And it goes in a body over, so I like the reach, or just the lean over to the side is cool. And then cry is really fun, that bleed. And then we bleed over to, there's just a lot of bleeds, and what I mean by that is that we're allowing our torso, we're allowing our movement to kind of not really rest on a particular sound. It can be initiated on a sound, but it carries through an environmental sound or one that like exists in the space, but normally you don't hit or make a focal point moment. You're bleeding through a count or multiple counts to make it feel like a completed movement or a completed phrase, which is nice. So they go to the inside, they go out in with the arms, and then right here they grab. Now, we didn't see the setup here, so I don't know how awkward it inherently is, but how they extend, the commitment is really, really nice. They know how to perform with the face, and that really helps. And who they have in center, Chloe, is eating with the shoulders. It matches, and they all snake. And that can be really tricky if you don't make it symmetrical and balanced, but they do it very, very well. And then she takes it, she grabs right there, and then they all look. I love this gimmick. Now, here's why this works. Because when you looked at the music video, they had the cry right here. So this motion ties into the music video really, really well. So I'm kind of glad they chose to opt for it. It's subtle. And yes, it's like ties heavy to Joker. Click, 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 click. I like the head on that. And then from here, she's taking it off. It did feel like we are taking it off, but how they chose to commit to it, living. And then we end up throwing it, and we do just freaking head rotations. Wow. Really, really full, and you could so easily just get whiplash from this. So well done for them on this. So they end up doing 1, 2, 3, and we hold, and we do it again. This is a fantastic camera pan to just appreciate what they're doing. It's dope. And it goes cry, doubling up on her tone. And they swing, so it's more simple, but it's way more full. So they're kind of, they're weighing their balances. Like they're catering more towards performance with simplicity over complexity and syncopation, but it may not read as full, which works great for camera, honestly. And it may work great in the space. And it goes, this right, baby. And she goes, cry. And you notice her subtlety there? Like, that's what I was kind of, like, expecting for, like, that laughter. But it was so big. But it's fine. Here in this lens, too. Totally fine. But I liked how she kind of traced it through. That reminds us of the music video as well, right? And they go, I like the little ball change, the reset there. They'll punch, and then we go down, bring up the energy, bring up the trace, and then we reset it down. And then we take it, little body roll down. We swing it over, da-da-da-da-da, pick up the leg. Really nice on the, it's just a nice little interruption of the sequence in a good way. So we bring it in, boom, doo-doom. It's fun. It's different. They haven't really hit that there, and I like that they have the gesture cap. They don't anymore, but they grab their hair like they do. That's cool. And then right there, hey, nobody. The commitment to this is filthy. Wow. This is where your Vogue, your Vogue hairography can come into play on that. And then I like how she throws it down. They went high, and then they drop as she comes up. And she goes cry, and then they go around. The commitment to the drop, I think range was slightly off with one of them, but the hinge around, that was really, really full and probably very captivating live because it was so full here. So dope. Yes. Brush it away. I love the thumbnail for that. Cool. We're here for it. And we have F.E.D. taking on Dua Hao Hong by Chi Pu. Oh, hi. So we have 5. Okay. I see what they're going for. Okay. Maybe not understand like the nuance of the gimmick is so fun. But it gives the impression that one of them is always a little off. That whole beginning reminded me of that. Ooh! We chose to go funk with some camel locking. Yeah! Wow! Yeah! I really like how they utilize going from camel locking to house. Nice front walk over to a little helicopter, cartwheel. They're like, what are you doing? Cool. That gimmick was fun. Wow. Nice. That was really, really well done. Wow. Makeup is freaking dope too. That's cute. That's super cute. Okay, here we go. I have the official music video dance version of the original artist. That's cute. So they decided to go a little bit more popping boogaloo influence for that. This is fun. I think this, yeah, this I was about to say, it was reversed because of how the skirt was going. Ooh. Cool. Nice little cannon there. This is cute. My dancing queen. Run! Ooh! Sometimes a simple transition with everybody facing the same way can do wonders, guys. Yeah. Yep. Yep. 6, 7, 8, 1, 2. Yes. 4. Ooh. I really do like the contrast of colors with the red, black, and how they just washed everybody out in grayscale is cool. This is a cool music video idea. Man, so they went quirky. F.E.D. did. But they took more of like a clownish approach. And they were not moving. Cool. Oh. Is this like a trailer for the next episode? Oh. Morse code. It's Morse code. To be continued. That's really cool. I'm always down for a Morse code little to be continued vibe. Okay. So we're going to analyze, and then probably at the end of this excerpt video stuff, I'll probably place my vote on who my preference is, but everyone's going to get the same treatment on analysis. So right here from the jump, theirs technically began off stage, right? So they're all getting in position. Really nice. Now, do I know what they're trying to be? No. So I'm going to be honest with that. They do give a clown-like kind of humor about what they're doing. And just like the backdrop gave more of a circus vibe too, which is why I was thinking that, the polka dots, things like that. So that's what I'm going off of. But if there is a cultural like imagery that they're showing here, I would love to know in the comments. Just like, you know, with Harley Quinn, it was pretty easy to see. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I'm so late. And then she gets in formation, the clap, clap. Now let me explain to you. This type of concept, if you're going to have somebody intentionally deviate from the normal unison, you have to be super clean in order for that to be readable, which they did a pretty good job on. So I like seeing this concept, but it's always risky for that exact reason. So right here from the top, they present out, they're like, welcome to our show. So they kind of give like the showman vibe, right? Just like what you see in the back. So maybe not circus, but more like we're trot singers or something. And then they all present in. I love the little wobble wobble, is cute. They go down, and then this would be my note where you have two of them go this way. She looks more up, and then she looks the opposite way. So she has to make a very clear distinction and difference between them in order for us to read it. So it's my note there, and they look and they uncurl, then they basket run, but they stay connected. So it doesn't feel like a basket run, it's a transition circularly. You go to the inside, and then she goes, Burr! Which I think is super cute. Then they have a little gimmick. So she comes up, she's also mouthing words like what we saw from HANOIXGIRLS, which is fun. But I like that we have the illusion and the gimmick of the running. We can tell it's super elongated, and those are not her real feet, right? It feels that way. But it's just really, really long, and this opposition is fun. They end up doing that a couple times, which that was really fun and very gimmicky, just like what we've seen in the other cases. So they reach over, they're like, very nice and curious. They're not just letting the makeup do the talking, they're having to perform with the makeup, and it enhances what they're doing, right? So I like the little gravity. They're like, whoa, what's about to happen? Really dope aerial shot. They drop low. They come up, they're like, oh, goodness gracious, with the head nod, and they go click, click. Now from here, they are very, very dense in their content, which works in their favor, I do believe, for this challenge. But everybody held their own mighty fine, and everybody showcased growth and really fun avenues that we hadn't quite gotten to see. Even with HANOIXGIRLS, it's really nice. Now this right here, so they go up into a little strongman, and then to do some liberty points or just some points, or sand points, and then they're going into they're about to do a scoob bop, and then they do a nice little heel check to the front. No, they do a heel check, then they replace it to the ground. Nice little funky, like syncopated, not even a funky guitar, but a syncopated guitar like upper body with our heel extended up, and we bring it to the inside. I love the trot to a fun transition in our windows. And then from here, we do some snaps, or we call that, the pace. So they do, with all of these, they're not doing like the basic fundamental structure of the locking, camber locking move. Like a pace is what they're doing, but they're not doing it like 4 times. They're doing it like 2.5 times, and then they're doing it as an add-on, or they're adding a dynamic element. So they're doing a very good job on showcasing a heavy familiarity to the styles that they're doing. They did heavy locking, they did heavy house, and I really like that they structure them to where they felt that they were tailored to the track, it was clean, and it catered to their image that they were showcasing in the concept. Really, really nice. So from here, I like the choice. The aerial shot's nice, but there were some elements that were a little bit hard to see. I like the twirl, bringing it up to the side, using the chest, using a groove, and I like this little low-high effect on this. It's not a RoboCop by any means, but I like that we take our energy. There's a name for that. What they did is called a funky breakdown. If you ever have watched like Buddha stretch cover locking before, that's what this would be called. Yeah, so they hit it over. I like the add-on going into 2 diagonals. That right there. So that goes, hit a little toss it up into a funky breakdown. If we're going to tie it into locking, that would be kind of the term I would give it. But I love the energy on that. Super fun. The opposing levels very clear on that. You got your head, different kind of levels. You got 3 of them, hitting a little bit higher. One's fully standing, one's just a little bit bent, a little bit more bent. More bent, and then all the way down. So they just showcase all 5 levels in like the same time. Then they all look. She's presenting her hands forward. Then they all turn 5, 6, 7, 8. She has her moment, and she goes heart, cute. It's like a little serenade, a funky serenade. Then there's our liberty points with a switch up on our arms, and I like the looseness of it. It gives like a puppeting, not puppeting the popping the boogalooing dance side of things, but I like not the flail, but the accentedness about it, where we get to see the movement, but it's like so bled through, like you can't really stop it because there's always fluidity going on in it. Really nice. And they bring it up, and then they do a little snap, little tap in, twirl, and then a nice little jump out of that. Love that. Yep, really, really nice. So the kind of jump they did, I've heard it called a couple different things. I've heard it called a funky jump, something along those lines. It's just Uncle Sam points, right? And then from here, yeah, that right there. It's just you got some Uncle Sam points, the hop, and then a nice little pickup out of that. So I like that they're taking it, they're leaning the weight to a respective direction, collaboratively and cohesively, and then they use it to help create and finish the rotation to keep it to the same spot. And I like the hold here, and then I like that we're pressing with our arms, and then we're letting the chest be able to complement with the swing of it. It's cool. And then having the rotating transition of our formation looks really nice there too. And I like the different directions on this. And then I like the fullness of the breath. It definitely feels like it ties into the lift that we saw a little earlier, where it was in the aerial shot. We now see everybody do it when a little bit more fully, which is kind of cool. And then I like the trot, 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 tying back into concept, like we did the presentations at the beginning. I like that. And it goes ta, 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 ta. So we're hitting various different timings with our music, which is very helpful on a competitive front, but also it keeps you entertained by the content, which is really nice. So she points, and then we have them all come up like they did the bow, and she says, "Oh, hi." And then right there, I love the kicks on that. Super cute. And then it's that "come to me," and then right there we go into a loose leg on both sides. I've heard it called a chase as well, but we're gonna call it loose leg here. Da da da, and then they double it up on the bounces, and then we do little ball changes on that. And I love that with the heel toe sequence onto that, and it goes heel dig, syncopated. Come on now. And I like that we're holding it down and we're using it to transition collectively and in unison. And then bring it over, da 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 da, and it really helps tie into this sound very, very well. I think it's a saxophone, right? And so we're allowing to hear the saxophone. We're tackling the challenge of the saxophone because it's da 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 da. It deviates so much off of the tempo, right? It's syncopated out the wazoo. And so the fact that we're choosing to go house with it is really, really fun and smart, because we've already showcased an upper body element, like a focal pointed bass style like locking, but there is a lot of lower body in it. But a lot of the things that people pick up on with locking is the upper body. So here, the fact that we went house and we went lower body on the footwork, really, really fun. And it showcases variety of style too. And the heel dig is nice. I like the little shake of the hand is fun. And bring it over to the side is also nice. The heel toe crossover is also fun. And then I like the kick going over into a shuffle. See, it's once again, it's a variant of a shuffle step. And so all these things that they're doing, just like with the locking, Campbell locking, they're not doing like the actual basic scoop up, but they're doing like the setup of one, and then they deviate and they hit a different part of the music, and they do a little heel press instead. Like, those are little things that I can appreciate, because you would need to understand the move enough to know what endearments you're allowed to still keep the funk of it without sacrificing the technique of it. So that's really nice. The shuffles are fun with the switch. And then we have one of them go low, and then they all go down, high, low. And then she ends up doing something a little different. She goes like the front walkover, and then she ends up falling forward. What do they end up doing? Like a helicopter. Yeah, they do a nice little just zigzag wave. It's fun. They do a helicopter cartwheel situation, and they all land in a little tabletop position, and they all come up. They're like, "Hey, what did you do?" look at her. And she's like, oh goodness, she crashed. And I love how she technically called it out on herself. If you've ever seen like the breaking hand signals, whenever you see somebody crash, they're gonna tap the floor. So I actually love the fact that they have that there. And they press the forehead is fun, and I love the press on the shoulder is cute. Those are our twins, right? And she's like, stop it, stop it. And it's showing a little bit of the vibe of F.E.D. a little bit here too, which is kind of fun. If you've seen and followed the season, you've seen that they can be at odds at times, which is really funny. They're like, excuse me, push her to the side. They're like, oh no. And they hit it over. So really fun acting. It takes up some time, and it helps enhance and further your storyline with the function of your concept. Very nice. And they look over. I like the head on that. Really fun. I see the opposition. There's your slow-mo. She's like, ah, oh no, aggressive on that. And then she ends up reaching over. I love that choice where all of them are fearful of one person and vice versa. It's really fun. Because she goes low, I like that they go high, good levels there. And I have the little pulse on this is fun too. They go hit, 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 hit. It's like she's doing little karate chops with her arms, and they all kind of dodge it. And then they all grab her. She's like, uh-oh. They pull this gimmick out. Now, it's really nice that we had no idea that was there. It did feel a smidgen labored getting it out, but hey, props are props. Everybody has had some situation with a prop, and that was really well done. And they take it and toss it, and then we end up, everybody throws some confetti of some kind. That's just cute. And they go down and up, and then you have two of them go low, and then they do a nice little leapfrog over them, very childlike and playful, right? And they hit it over, and then we're going into a freaking 6-step. Really, really cool. Like, I love the fusion of various street dance styles, because this is street woman fighter Vietnam, and that alone could be a huge component into how these are ranked if they do rank these independently. Preferentially, I really like the vibe of this too. I like all of them for different reasons, and I think that's what makes this fun. When it's a challenge where everybody freaking bodies in different ways, I have no qualms with it. Everybody represented their tracks respectively. It's really going to come down to the ice for me when it comes to the itemized within these separate challenges. But I really do love their usage of heavy, multiple styles of street dance here. It's really cool. They bring it over, a nice little sweep to finish it out to get them all right back up. She's still low. And then I like the kick on that. Kick, 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 kick. And then one of them started low to begin with. Wasn't distracting or anything, but I liked how it hit the whistle, whistle, which is fun. And then right here, I like the extras. Not really a salsa step or anything, but I really like the upper body influence on that is really fun. They go click, click with the, they take the heel over to the side, and then they invert the hip to make that knee come up. And they go trot, 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 trot. They're hitting all the sounds in different ways, which you run the risk on not relying heavily on what the original choreo is, not really quite that, because the choreo was fine, but I really love how they made it their own color. It was really, really fun, and I see subtle nuances, but this holds its own so well, independently of concept. But all the sounds, you do run a risk of overusing certain textures to hit certain sounds, but because there's so many different distinct elements, they do a fantastic job on the structure overall. It's really nice. And then right there, they go into a double lock. I do wish that it was more of a defined postural double lock, but we're just going to treat it fusion, maybe recognize it as such. And that right there, it did feel like we're doing a, it's like a little house, Ranajam's, like it's a house sweep in the air kind of vibe. But it did feel a smidgen cut off. Just that little section felt a little cut off, but that's whatever for 2.5 minutes, whatever. And then from there, the gimmick is fine. They go, ah! So she leans over. Now what they have to do is make sure they don't have this showing. That's a really hard gimmick, but they do pretty good. And she goes, oh! And it's a different person. I like the little wave, and they kind of do a little trot, trot, trot. They bring her down, and then they hit over. I like the extra throw on that. The little tap, toe taps on the, which is really nice. And they go into a little tip, tap, toe out at the end. And then they hit it up, and then they show a little heart at the end. Really, really well done. If we're going to look at this from the competition standpoint, F.E.D. should take the win for this challenge specifically. Do I think F.E.D. is the favorite to win the whole season? Yes. If you look at their consistency and the choreography they've presented throughout the entirety of the season, I think they were the most consistent, and they, I think it's just an accumulative, they've really, really took an ownership of every challenge, and they've done very well. Even in Mega, their structure was well done. I mean, everybody's had major qualms with their Megas, but you can go look at those analysis there. And then when you look at the actual challenge, V-Pop is great, but you have to remember it's a street-based competition, so they had the most street dance represented. They also had a concept that met the demands of the type of competition stage that kind of helped with the others, but everybody held their own on their types of tracks very, very well. And we can just chalk it up to, what is it? Just the type of tracks that they're given. It is hard a lot of times to integrate street dance into it. I'm very impressed with what they did. They integrated some really great funk from locking, and they integrated some house, and they did a little bit of breaking too, and none of it fell out of pocket. So very well done, and I loved listening and watching and getting a deep dive, just a subtle deep dive into the V-pop scene, because this was really great. Thank you guys so much for watching. I still have a whole nother analysis to do for Ice Ice, and then I do have the full episode. These are all going to come out one day at a time, but they're all going to be on Patreon for you to watch. Go ahead and watch it nice and early if you want. I'm excited to see the episode and see who ends up taking it. I already kind of told you, my gut tells me it could be F.E.D. just from the virality of their sets and just how they've been structuring the show. I don't know. They've been the most consistent. They've been very strong, and they've held it down very well on every challenge. I don't see how they couldn't take it, but each other group had some really great moments too, so we don't want to negate that. And every group held it down in this challenge respectively too, which is something that makes it so fun in a challenge. I love being able to just celebrate the beauty of the art and celebrating these groups because they've worked so hard and we've already seen so much growth. You guys know me, I know you. I'm Jess, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.